I just wanted to address the heartbreaking, tragic murders of the legendary actor and film director Rob Reiner and his wife Michele, who were stabbed to death in their own home by their son Nick, who was arrested in their murder. Nick is 32 years old. He's been through rehab 18 times. He was a problem. He was a known problem. And Rob and Michele had taken Nick, who again was 32 years old, with them to Conan O'Brien's holiday party on Saturday night because they were reportedly so worried about what he might do if they left him home alone. He was living with them. He freaked people out at that party. They had a fight. Apparently, Nick and his parents, they left early, and police sources told the Daily Mail exclusively that Nick, it seems, waited for his parents to go to sleep, and he attacked them while they slept, stabbing them multiple times and slicing both of their throats, which to my mind, the symbolism cannot be denied. That is a way of shutting his parents up forever. How and why this happened, we'll learn more over the coming days, but it's worth noting that Rob and Michele had 3 other children, a daughter, the eldest, Rob had adopted when he was married to his first wife, the late Penny Marshall, herself a comic genius. That was a daughter she had with her first husband, and all of the tributes pouring out about Rob and Michele are that they were wonderful, sweet, loving, kind people. And Rob, as a filmmaker, he was such a rarity and such a gift. He is one of the few, to my mind. There are very few directors, I think, who really can masterfully toggle different genres. And if you look at Rob Reiner's filmography, it's really astonishing. This is Spinal Tap, which to me, it is my favorite of all Rob Reiner movies. And there are so many to choose from. But, the fake documentary about this band of heavy metal idiots who, I always say, like, on the nerve, like someone's like emotional amp is up to 11, and I'm quoting Spinal Tap. I'm quoting Rob, who is in interview. Well, I'm not quoting Rob, but he plays the documentarian in the film, and he's interviewing, I think it's Nigel, played by Michael McKean, who's like, well, our amps go up to 11, and Rob's like, no, amps go up to 10. That's as high as they go. And Nigel's like, but ours go to 11. You know what I'm talking about.
If you can see, the numbers all go to 11. Look, right across the board. 11, 11,
and most of
11,
the
and then
amps go up to 10.
Exactly.
Does that mean it's louder? Is it any louder?
Well, it's 1 louder, isn't it? It's not 10. You see, most blokes, be playing at 10. You're on 10 here, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. You're on 10 on your guitar. Where can you go from there? Where?
I don't know.
Nowhere, exactly. What we do is, if we need that extra push over the cliff, you know what we do?
Put it up to 11.
11, exactly. 1 louder.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
And, from there he pivoted. He did Stand By Me, probably the greatest. Well, you know what? He did 2 of the greatest Stephen King film adaptations of all time, Stand By Me and Misery. He did The Princess Bride. He did A Few Good Men. He did, oh my God, When Harry Met Sally, which really went on to redefine the modern romantic comedy. I think that movie started the, that movie opened the gates for, a Julia Roberts to have a career in romantic comedies. It reignited the love we all have for them. And the thing you can say, listen, I don't care what you think about Rob Reiner's politics. He was very vocal, but this is where art really just comes in and Bigfoot's everything. As an artist, he was undeniable. And the through line with all of his art, all of it, is that it had heart. It had such a big, open, warm, beating heart. And when you think back to Stand By Me and that scene where the Will Wheaton character is crying on the shoulder of River Phoenix, and you see the River Phoenix character walk away and fade away, you know, the guy, he just seemed like a mensch. He just seemed like a mensch. And it's so sad. And we here at The Nerve extend our condolences to all who loved him, whether they knew him or not. And to that point, I would like to move on to something that we all are familiar with, you know, whether it's a famous person or whether it's just someone amongst, you know, our regular lives. Death has a weird way of showing these people up. It really, really does. There are people in the face of tragedy who cannot wait to rush in and make it very clear how close they were to the deceased and what a level of prominence they had in the life of the deceased. These are the people that you and I will see at a funeral who perhaps haven't seen or spoken to the deceased in months, if not years, and, you know, force their way like into a front row at a memorial service or at a funeral. You know what I mean? The ones who are like rending their garments. Now, I came across this Instagram post. We'll get to Michelle Obama in a minute, but I came across this Instagram post from this woman named Nita Sodkervist. Never heard of her. So she rushes to Instagram on December 14th. She apparently was in the Reiners employ, but she also wants to make it very clear, as she does in a subsequent post, that she was also family. She was family. Her Instagram caption: "Thank you for all your messages." How many people know who this woman is or that she knew them? I've never heard of her before. "Thank you for all your messages, but right now I cannot communicate with anybody. Please, please, thank you to give us privacy. Michele was one of my bestest friends," in all caps. "I've been with Michele and Rob Reiner for the last 15 years. I've spent 5 days a week with her, and I was just with her yesterday. Please respect the family and respect me right now. I cannot answer questions, but I can go on Instagram and tell the whole world that I was close to them, even if I was an employee. One of my bestest friends." Bestest isn't even a word. This woman seems a little bit drunk on Instagram, just my opinion. And then after saying she cannot answer questions, I don't know who the fuck is asking this woman questions. She posts again, and she posts an even lengthier statement about how close they were, about how they were family. It's so disgusting. It's so disgusting. It is a sacrilege to the memory of these people who died in one of the most gruesome. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the realization as they wake up, as they're being stabbed to death by their own son, that they are going to die at the hands of their own son? And I am sure that they tried and they fought for their lives. And this trick is on Instagram. Okay, now, Michelle Obama, who's still on her media tour about how beautiful and glamorous she is, was on Jimmy Kimmel on December 15th. And she wants us all to know how close she was to the Reiners. Here we go.
You and your husband were friends with Rob and Michele Reiner, and I'm very sorry for your loss.
My God.
How long have you known the Reiners?
We've known them for many, many years, and we were supposed to be seeing them that night, last night, and we got the news. And let me just say this, unlike some people, Rob and Michele Reiner are some of the most decent, courageous people you ever want to know.
Okay. Thanks, Michelle, for that. Thanks for telling us. Thanks for going on Jimmy Kimmel and talking about how you were supposed to see them that night. You know, again, it's like, I would like to sidle up to this tragedy, and I would like to center myself in the white hot spotlight of this, and just make sure everybody knows I've got proximity to the biggest news story going, because, you know, death is so strange, and especially when it comes suddenly and violently. There are often ghouls. I talk a lot about how there are ghouls in the culture, and some of them are among our most famous and celebrated by the mainstream media. That is ghoulish. That is ghoulish. I would never have divulged anything like that. And, you know, if their loss really meant a lot to you, why not keep it private and maybe make it a condition that you're not really going to discuss that on Jimmy Kimmel? You know who was an extremely close friend of Rob Reiner's, who the daughter called? The first call she made after the cops to come to the house was Billy Crystal. I don't see Billy Crystal making any kind of public pronouncements about this. He was seen leaving the scene in tears. We all want the best food for ourselves and our families, but it's hard to know what is safe. Food labels can be misleading. Introducing Olive. Olive is the clean living shortcut on your phone. It's 100% independent, credible, and transparent. No brand pay to play. A simple scan on Olive looks beyond macros and marketing to flag ultra processing, additives, seed oils, and contaminants with a comprehensive database that you can trust. Proof, not promises. Olive recently completed the largest independent baby food study ever. 300 plus products tested for lead and arsenic in ISO accredited labs. Real tests, real results. Moms, has your baby's food been contaminated with lead? Scan with Olive to find out. If you are frustrated by reading confusing food labels and ingredients you can't even pronounce, try Olive. Listeners of The Nerve get an exclusive 7-day free trial. Try Olive. Scan your pantry. Make sure you're feeding your family the very best. Download Olive now in the App Store. Olive, 100% independent, credible, transparent. Scan, swap, exhale.